Here we go. So this is part of a series that I want to start doing of monthly live marketing training. So what I do, if you guys don't know this, so I own a marketing agency called Garner Consulting. And what we do is we help small business owners, specifically local service small business owners, build, fill, and optimize their sales funnels so they can get more leads, get more customers, and be seen as the industry leader for what it is they do. And so I have the opportunity to work with dozens of clients in a one-on-one setting as like a fractional CMO role. We build websites, sales funnels, and do SEO and all the things. And so I can only help so many people, but I love what I do, and I especially love small business owners. So I want to start doing these monthly trainings to where I can help as many small business owners as possible, so they can go out there and do what they're called to do. I firmly believe that, as a Christian and as a small business owner, like we're called to go out there and to do what we do with excellence and to dominate. And so I'm hopefully helping more people do that. So what the video in the training is going to be over today is today's training is going to be all about how to set up your website for sales. Because unfortunately, most small business owners, their websites are not set up for sales. They were typically done and designed by one of their friends or someone they knew, especially when they were first starting out, or they were done by a website designer that knows how to make things look beautiful, but not necessarily sell. So how we believe a website should be set up is it should do both. It should not only look good, but it should also clearly communicate to the people that you're trying to attract to showcase why you are the go-to expert. So what we're going to do on our training today, this is being streamed everywhere. If you're not watching live, you can go watch the replay of this. It'll be available on our YouTube channel, just youtube.com/Sean Garner. And you can go ahead and watch the replay on that. So starting off with this is I want to show you, we're going to be going through this guide right here that we've created and showing you guys a ton of examples on this, but this is available for you. It's the click to client website template. It's actually the wireframe that we use for a lot of our agency clients, and you can get it on our website. It's just seangarner.co/website wireframe. And then all you do, just put in your name, email, and we'll send you that guide right over. Or if you're on the website and you scroll all the way to the bottom and you click on this website wireframe template, it'll take you right here and you'll be able to download this template for yourselves. Because this is the 10 things that we believe every website should have if you want to grow and dominate. So make sure you guys get the guide after this training so that way you can implement all of this stuff in your own marketing collateral. So going into the website, your website, this is just the overall philosophy of it. Your website should do two things. Number one, it should collect you leads. Number two, it should make you money. If it's not doing those things, there's not really honestly a point of having it. You don't want just another social profile where it's just, hey, look at me. This is who we are. This is what we do. We don't want that. We want it to be just like your in-person store. This is a part of your digital storefront. So we want to have a place that is collecting us leads and able to make us money 24/7. That's the beautiful thing about digital marketing and about having a really good designed website is that it can do those things if it's done properly. Fortunately, like I said, it's not. So as I'm going through this website wireframe, I'm going to show some awesome examples and some not so awesome examples. I don't know the not so awesome example people. So full disclosure, I'm not doing it to like throw rocks at anybody. It's just not how I believe is the most efficient way to do it. And it's not because I think that they're bad at business. I would just say that their website is not optimized in the way that I would do it. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm like putting other people down or anything whenever we go over some of these examples, but I definitely think that if they do watch this video, there would be some things that they could do to improve this. So let's dive into this. The 10 things that you need on your website, on your homepage to ensure that it's set up for conversion. So the first thing that I want to talk about is something that's called your header. The header is what most people honestly probably neglect, but this is the most important section of your website. When somebody lands on your website, The header of your website is that first thing that they see. It's everything that's called above the fold. So like in the old newspaper days, you had the newspaper sitting in the glass container, and everything that was above the fold was what was actually attracted people to actually buy the newspaper, because they couldn't see what was below where it folded over, because they had to actually buy it and see it. Same thing with your website. Your header is everything. Instead of above the fold, it's above the scroll. So what can people see before they actually have to scroll down to get the rest of the information of the website? I tell my clients, we are always trying to earn the scroll. So we want to make sure that it's set up in a way that makes people want to scroll down to see the rest of the website and get more information. So when we're looking at a header of a website, there's a few key points things where places should be. So number one, typically the logo is always going to be in the top left of your website. And then your main call to action, which is the thing you want them to do, is going to be in the top right corner. Reason being is because when people read websites, they read them in a Z pattern. So they start over at the right, top left, read over to the top right, down to the top or bottom left, and then back across again. So as they're reading websites, that's how they scan them. So we want to make sure that our websites are set up this way. The most important real estate in your website is this section right here. This top right-hand corner, that is the most important part of your website. If you take anything from this call, you could make this one change to your website and start generating more revenue from it by this. Add a direct call to action in the top right-hand corner of your website. That's where people's eyes are instantly drawn, and that's the most valuable real estate you have on your website. Unfortunately, what most people do is they use that for something that's going to say, learn more or contact us. Customers are looking for solutions to problems, which your business sells and offers solutions to problems. If you didn't realize that, big picture, nobody typically wants your products or service. They want the problems that those products or services actually solve. I was in the fitness industry for a long time, so I always use this as an example. Nobody wants a personal trainer or wants a meal plan. What they want is a better physique. What they want are improved health markers. That's what they actually want. They want the solutions to the problems, not your service. And most small businesses on their website, they're trying to get people to buy their service instead of showcasing the problems that they actually solve. So on this top right-hand corner of the website, this is our valuable real estate. We want it to be extremely clear what people need to do to get started with us. A call to action needs to be clear and it needs to be direct. We don't want contact us or learn more. We want to tell them exactly what we want them to do to start doing business with us. We want them to schedule a call, book their assessment, start their free trial. Whatever that direct first step is, we want that to be in the top right-hand corner. Another great thing to put in that top right-hand corner, especially if you have like a full-time receptionist and something, answer the phone, is put the phone number, call now, put the phone number right there. We want to tell them exactly what we want them to do. The next thing is the copy that we use. So on our website, we want to clearly say what we do and how we make their life better. I cannot tell you how many websites I look at, and it is difficult to know what services they actually provide. People assume all the time that just because maybe their business name or their logo style that they use, that it's very clear to understand what they do. That's not the case. We need to be very clear on what we do. The second thing we need to be very clear on is, how do we actually help people's lives get better? How do we help them win? How do we help them solve these problems? We want to remind them of how much better life will be once they get these problems solved. So on our website, the header is the most important section of your website. We want to make sure that our logo is in the top left-hand corner. Our main direct call to action is in the top right. Then in the middle here, with the words that we use, we want to have a very clear headline and subheadline that says what you do and how you make people's lives better. Then we want to repeat that direct call to action right here again, either in the center of the page or in that bottom left-hand corner. And then with the imagery or videos that we use, we want to show a compelling image or video that reinforces what we do. We want to show the happily ever after. We want to show happy customers. We want to remind them of what we actually do and how life is going to get better. What we don't want is just like a generic stock image. We want to use something that will showcase the type of customers that we want to attract. The only time I typically will say that I'm okay with putting the person's face on here, if it's like a personal brand, I think that makes a lot of sense to have that person's image. But typically I don't want the business owner's face on that part. Unless, like I said, it's a personal brand. There's some cases where that makes sense, but for the most part, we want to showcase happy customers or you doing the actual service. So like if you're a plumbing company, one of our clients, Half Moon Plumbing, we have a video of them and it's their team servicing customers and stuff inside their homes and showcasing their services. I think that looks really great. So I want to show you just specifically with each one of these sections, what this can actually visually look like. So inside of this, I actually pulled up, so again, no shade on any of these businesses right here. I just Googled some random industries. And so because we have a marketing agency, I just Googled a random marketing agency in town, and this is their website. So let's look at their header right here. What do you do? How do you make my life better? And what do I need to do to get it? Our values are part of everything we create. We are a company committed to shaping better futures. We put people first, our clients, our employees, and the users we serve. We pursue excellence with our unwavering commitment to make work that goes above and beyond. Now, obviously, we can see that they offer web services right here because it's in their logo. But if you just landed on this page, what do you do? Like, that's very vague and like happy language, which I love. I'm a happy guy, but it's not clear at all. What do you do? How do you make my life better? It's very self-focused. And I think one of the really good things about the story brand marketing system that we really love here is we are all about our customers, and we are the guides to make our customers the hero, and we're trying to help them win. I obviously am going to be a little biased here, but this is from this agency. It looks beautiful, right? Looks beautifully designed website. I like the aesthetic of it, but just this section right here. Let's just compare it to, I mean, again, I'm probably a little biased, but this guy right here, his business. Grow your business and dominate your industry. Boost your online presence with story brand marketing. Schedule a call. Okay, so what do you do? Well, we're going to help you boost your online presence with story brand marketing. How you're going to make my life better. You're going to help me grow my business and dominate my industry. What do I need to do to do business with you? I'm going to schedule a call on the top right in the center. You can see, I like, this is just a personal preference for me. I like using a lot of video in the header of our websites for us and for our clients and stuff. So I think it's kind of captivating and stuff. This is showcasing like the podcast production services we offer, showcasing services like SEO, consulting for a website design, showcasing all that different stuff inside of here. But let's look at just so it's not super biased, let's look at a couple of other industries and show you some things that they could probably improve. This right here is a company called Sells by Lottie, and they do real estate home appraisal services. You wouldn't know that, right, by looking at the website, but this is whenever you go to the website, this is the header section right here. It is this scrolling thing. I will say this, another thing, if you have a scroll wheel like this on your website, please take it down. This is just, it might be a personal preference, but then just think about how you use things as a customer. Those images, look, I mean, they're going so fast. Nobody's actually going to be able to pay attention to any of that stuff and read or see all that stuff. It's going way too fast. It's not clear. It's old images. I wouldn't be a fan. Not very clear on what they do, how you make people's life better, and what you need to do to get it. Let's look at this one right here. Measured Home Services. They're here in the same market. What do you do? Tulsa real estate appraisers and home inspectors that give you peace of mind you're getting the best deal. That's what they do. How are they going to make your life better? Man, they're going to give you peace of mind that they're getting the best deal. What do? They're Tulsa real estate appraisers and home inspectors. They're going to let you know exactly how much your home was worth. What do I need to do to get it? Man, I need to schedule a call. And again, probably a little bit biased on this one because our agency works with Measured Home Services and we built the website. But again, you don't realize this. Your competition, they typically aren't doing this. This is what they're doing. This is what they're thinking. They're not thinking like this. So there's so much room for opportunity here that I hope you start to see that. So last example of a header, or sorry, two more examples of headers that I want to show you. And the reason why I want to spend so much time on this section is this is the most important section of your website, is this header. If you nail the header, the rest of the sections honestly kind of fall into a line, because it's it's kind of the same things for each website. You're going to have to showcase your services, a testimonial section, and some of the other things that we're going to show you in just a second. But if you nail this header, that's what earns the scroll, so people actually want to stay on your website. Okay, so last two examples right here is CPA OKC. So this is an Oklahoma City accounting firm. So whenever you land on the website, you get this nice little welcome. Thank you for visiting our website, and the little welcome message talking about the information on this website. You will find information about our business. Anyway, you're not going to read this website. It's super small. Nobody's going to read that. And this is a side note that I will say for a lot of specific industries like this. I see it a lot with accounting firms, the medical field, the home services industries and stuff like that. Insurance is a huge one. Financial planning is another really big one where I see this one, in real estate. All the big service-based industries like this, they have it. They have marketing agencies that specialize in just that niche. And the reason why they specialize in just that niche is because what they have done is they have made a template or framework that they just duplicate across thousands of other clients and stuff. So nothing that you're getting is actually unique and customized to you and to your market. They might even say things like, oh, we do SEO for you. Yes, but they do SEO bad and wrong, because what they're typically doing is taking the same content and duplicating out against hundreds of pages because hundreds of different websites that they manage. So Google doesn't like that. It's not unique content, and it's not actually helping you grow on Google. So side note, if you're using those companies, that's probably why it's not working. And hey, wouldn't you know, these guys are doing it right here. They're using this website for accountants builder. And so every single person that's using this website company for accountants is probably looking just like this. So let's say I was looking for another Oklahoma City accounting firm and I landed on these guys. Wow. What do? Man, they're an Oklahoma City accounting firm serving the U.S. It's got their services listed right here: accounting, bookkeeping, tax planning, and financial strategy. Man, how do you make my life better? Man, we are your complete financial team to reach your financial goals. What do I need to do to work with you? Man, I've got to schedule a call. It just looks cool. Again, full disclosure, it's a client of ours, CMM Financial, based out of Oklahoma City. So I just think that it looks pretty cool. But you can tell a big difference there of just how clear it makes you stand out by just being clear. What do? How do you make my life better? What do I need to do to work with you? If the top of your website isn't answering those three questions, you need to make that change now. Last example of a header that I want to show you is from a functional medicine provider based out of the Dallas area. Whenever I clicked on functional medicine, this is what I pulled up right here. So this is get answer. Well, for one, I can see every once in a while what the words say, because you can see if you're using a video and you don't use an overlay, you can see on certain things it's really difficult to read. So yeah, it's difficult. So anyway, they have get answers, get well, empowering your health journey with compassionate collaborative care. Whew, that's a tongue twister there. But anyway, this one right here could actually not be horrible. And then their call to action is make an appointment. This right here is where design tweaks can make a big difference, right? Like as soon as you land on the website, it's difficult to read that orange font on this without having an overlay. They could easily improve this right here just by adding an overlay on this video. And then I would repeat this call to action right there. And that, I mean, I would say make, schedule. That's like just a play on words. But yeah, this one wouldn't be that bad. But if I had to pick one, I like this one right here. Get back to feeling and performing your best. Man, that's how you're going to help me right there. What do? Man, you're a telemedicine practice specializing in hormone replacement and functional medicine. What do I need to do to work with you? Man, I need to click right here and I need to get started. And I also need to get started right there. So you can see how it follows the Z pattern. That's not locked in stone. Like right here, you can see like on these other websites that we do, we put the logo in the top left right here in the top left. This one was just a style thing. The main thing is you want it right there in the center of that Z pattern of how people are scanning your website. But again, we built this website. It's actually my wife's medical clinic, so we are a little biased in how we do that. But that is the most important part, is that header section. Now, the next section of your website is something called the value stack. So on the value stack, I'll say this to back up. The header on these 10 sections of the website, the header section needs to be the first one. That's the most important thing. It needs to be the first part. The rest of these sections, as we start stacking them up, you want to think of them like website Lego building blocks. So you can put them in any order. I'm going to show you today the recommended order I would do it, but it really doesn't matter. It's kind of personal preference. It comes down to design. The most important thing is that all those elements are in there. The only ones that have to be in the order is the header's got to be at the top, the footer's got to be at the bottom. So as we're going through this, just know that. So the next section that I want to show you is the value stack. The value stack should list 3 simple successes, 3 benefits your customers will get if they work with you. Or sometimes I will use this to showcase the process. So if you have a framework that you use, like us, for example, our framework is build, fill, and optimize sales funnels. So on our value stack section there, that's what we showcase right there on ours. You can do it a lot of different ways, and we'll show you some examples, but the whole purpose of this section is to help customers see how your company can make their life better. So typically we would have 3 little icons or something like that down there across the bottom. I'll show you what that would look like. So for us right here, like I said, we're going to build sales funnels, we're going to fill them, and then optimize your sales funnels. So we tied our framework in build, fill, and optimize with benefits. Collect leads 24/7, leverage SEO, fill your website with SEO, and then optimize it with data and automations and AI. So we kind of list it that way on that. Jeff, for measured home services, you're going to get peace of mind in the buying and selling process, know how much your home is worth, and confidence in your real estate purchase. With CMM, confident your taxes are done right, know that your financial plan is in place, create a legacy of wealth. So we list those 3 benefits right here. Here, it's convenient care, restore your health from the inside out, and then direct access to your provider. So you can kind of see how we list those 3 values inside of that. The next section is the stake section. Now, the stake section, we don't want to ever use fear to get clients or customers, but we do want to remind them of the problem they're dealing with. We want to do this for 2 reasons. 1, we want to remind them of what they're dealing with so they get it solved. But 2, we want to start to communicate that we understand that, and we start to show a little bit of empathy by using the words that they're using. So on this section right here, this is where we want to show customers that we understand their problem and remind them of the consequences that they'll continue to face if they don't solve it. We don't want to be too negative with this situation, but we don't want to ignore it either. Personally, I believe a lot of people kind of live in a state of mediocrity. They think that things really can't get that much better, but on the opposite side, they think they really can't get that much worse. And so whenever we're doing our marketing, we kind of want to remind them of the thing that they're dealing with, so it kind of pushes them over the edge a little bit to take action. So with this, the analogy that was always told to me by some of my mentors that I like is that think of the stakes section or the failures that are at risk within the brand messaging as salt. So imagine you're baking a loaf of bread. When you're baking a loaf of bread, you use a ton of flour. Flour is all the good stuff that on our website and our messaging, the successes, the happily ever afters that they're going to experience. But you need to add just a pinch of salt to give it a little bit of flavor and really complete it. It's the same thing with your messaging and with your website. You need to give it just a little pinch of salt so that way it's got that flavor of what they're actually going to be dealing with or what they're going to continue to deal with if they don't work with you. So on this section, so I'll say this, some of these sections, it's very kind of clear on how it should be designed and set up. So for example, on like the value stack section, there's kind of only a couple of different ways. Like on our website, most of the time we just do 3 little things vertically across. Some of the other times you can design it as like 3 little, like this is another thing that we've done right here. As you can see, just 3 little benefits here. Just whenever you scroll, you could do that. So from a visual standpoint, you can lay this out a lot of different ways. The stakes section is very designer dependent. We have an amazing website design team that makes it look beautiful for a bunch of different ways. So you can kind of see here. So like here's our stakes section right here. We have an image with some text right here. Don't get left behind because your competitors have better marketing. We want to remind them of that. This right here, again, is just kind of text with some bullet points. Does this sound like you? And you're kind of listing some of the things that, you're worried that you'll regret your purchase decision. You're concerned that you're not going to get the best deal in your real estate purchase. We kind of list it out this way. On accounting, most people make poor accounting mistakes because, they've never taken the time to develop the big picture financial plan. Like they don't even know how to get started with their personal or business accounting. Like we want to remind them of what they're dealing with, with WellSpot Functional Medicine. Life's too short to feel bad. We want to remind them of what it is they're dealing with. So when they're looking for solutions, we start to sound like the people that could guide them to that solution. So that's the stakes section. You can see on all of these too, they're kind of designed, it's very minimal. It's minimal copy typically in these sections. If we do list a lot, it's typically done in that bullet point form, but it's not a huge section of it. Like it's not paragraphs of stuff. We just kind of want that one little line that kind of shows like, hey, we understand what it's like that you're dealing with this. The next section is the value proposition. So this is where we hit them with the value. Like what exactly do you offer? With this, it's not just about listing stuff. It's about showing how this solves their problem. So we always, whenever we're listing our services out, so this section right here would be where you start to list your main services, what it is you actually do. There's a difference between the value stack, which is benefit, like quick hits, and then the value proposition. The value proposition is going to be more of listing your services out. When you do this, there's such a thing as benefits and features. We always, most businesses, they only want to list the features. This is what we do. We always want to make sure that we are trying to tie a benefit to each feature. So an example would be, going to the fitness example, the feature might be, let's say, 24/7 gym access. If you had a 24/7 gym, that's a feature. We always want to tie a benefit to that. Be able to work out anytime on your schedule. That's a benefit. With feature or 24/7 gym access. That's how you always want to tie those things together. With the marketing agency, it's benefit of stand out online with a beautifully designed website. With feature, website design services. So we always want to make sure that we're tying benefits to features as we're doing this. Now, again, depending on the amount of services that you offer, there's a lot of ways that you can visually lay this section out. We can have a vertical stack like this. We could stack them horizontally. I'll kind of show you some different ways. And again, they don't have to go in order, right? So you can already see that like we didn't go in that order there. We skipped it down here and we put our services down here. And look, this is like a very unique kind of like shape, how we did it, how we help your business grow. And we listed our services here: story brand messaging, website design, sales funnel creation, SEO, video podcast production, and then marketing consulting and fractional CMO. Here, measured home services, kind of got his services right here to make them be listed out in a grid form. And then CMM, they look very similar to just kind of the framework here. And then inside of here, we've got right here their value proposition right here inside of here, because in essence, they only have one service that they're offering. So we listed the benefits and stuff out that way. All right. The next section is, this is one thing to say on all of this stuff. As we're creating all of these sections, we're talking about the brand messaging aspect of it. So we have clear words that very clearly articulate, who we help, what we do, how we make their life better. We're making it very customer focused. We're putting them as the hero to the story and not talking about ourselves. The one caveat with this that we're going to talk about in future trainings and videos is how you then also layer SEO on top of this. So the words that customers are actually typing in Google. So I'll give you the quick sneak peek version of all of this stuff on here. What we want to do is like right here, we wouldn't just put like our services, right? We want to make sure we list real estate appraisal and home inspection services, because that is going to be real estate services or real estate appraisal services is going to be something people are actually typing in on Google. So we want to make sure that that's how we're listing it. So there's always a balance, and it's not one or the other. It's both. You want to make sure that we have both of these things in this stuff as we're creating it. So saying all that, man, we've been talking about our customers and how we help them, and it's all about the customers. When do I get to tell my story of my business, and how long we've been doing it, and why they should pick us? Well, honestly, probably not much, but there is the next section right here where you do start to talk about yourselves, and we call it the guide section. So the guide section is where you start to build trust. On this section here, we start to prove to customers that we are the perfect guide for them. Remember, it's not about us. It is about our customers, and we want to position our customers as the hero to the story, and we don't want to make it about us. So we do this by doing two things. One, we want to demonstrate empathy and display authority. So we want to demonstrate empathy and display authority. So on this, we typically would do this a couple of ways. So we're going to demonstrate empathy. On this, we want to showcase, man, I understand what it's like to deal with this problem. Or don't you just hate it when, and you explain the situation. The other thing that we want to do is we want to showcase our authority. We do this with success stories, testimonials, facts, stats, awards, and showcase that we've actually proven we are an authority because we've done this for other people. Now, there's one thing to note on this when it comes to getting testimonials from clients. One, you need a process to get it done consistently, because if not, you're probably not going to have any or very many at all. And when we get these, there's a way that, and this will be another future training, is how to create awesome success stories for clients, is whenever we get these, we want them to be specific. We don't want to say something like, John is a really nice person. And we want to say, man, John saved me 20% on my taxes this year. Like, we want it to be a very specific result that you got. So it's not a big, like, fluffy thing. We're showing a specific result that we are able to get people. So showcasing kind of how we've done that is just, again, from a design standpoint. So with these website blocks, we can put them wherever we want as long as they're in the right order. They also can be separated, and like one block can be broken up into a couple of different blocks. So on this, for example, how we've done that is we have some clients right here that we've worked with, and then we also have the empathy section right there. Then again, we list more testimonials right down here. So here, hey, this is CMM, for example. We actually did their website right here. We actually did 10x their website traffic in just a couple of months. So it was pretty awesome. Okay, so we've got the empathy and the authority. Again, we can look at this section right here. It doesn't have to be much. It can be something simple right here. So it can just be, we know. We want some type of a statement that shows you understand what it's like to deal with this problem. We know how scary it can be to do a real estate transaction and wonder in the back of your mind if you're really getting a good deal. Like, it's showcasing that this company understands what it's like to be in their shoes. Then they've got a list of their testimonials right down here. On CMM, for example, it is, we know how hard it is to find an accounting firm who knows and cares enough to create the tax and wealth plan you deserve. And then they've got a couple of testimonials right then and there. Then the medical plan right here, again, they've broken up their empathy section is they take the time to listen and get to the root of the health because they don't get to the root of the health issues. They don't prescribe Band-Aids. And then they got trust by a man serving over 4,500 patients. And then they've got some testimonial videos right there. So a lot of different ways that you can display that. This, I will say, is probably, there's 3 sections on the website that I think most small business owners neglect. The first one is the header. I think most people do a really bad job on that. They look typically like those examples I showed you at the beginning. The second section is this guide section. I don't think that business owners do a good enough job of actually proving their results and their success. Most of them have been in business for, 10, 20, 30 years. I'm like, well, of course I'm good at what I do. Like, I've been in business, or they've got all of these experience that's in their head, or testimonials that have been told to them. But in this digital age, in this digital world, if it's not out there on the internet, if it's not on your website, future and other customers don't know those things. And so we want to make sure that we're adding them to the website. The third section is a section that's coming up here in just a second. We're getting ready to get to, and I will show you that. So next section that we're going to have on our website, or thing that we're going to want, is our packages and pricing section. So on this section here, you might not want to list the prices on your website. For example, we don't list the prices on our website. Maybe do custom proposals, or maybe you just don't want to list the prices. That's cool. You don't have to, but I do think that it's a good idea to list out some different package options if you have that, to kind of showcase how people work with you. This is one of those sections. So I said that there's 10 sections that you should have. This is one of those sections I do think, though, is somewhat optional. I don't think you have to have it. It does help if you do. So just kind of showing you some different ways. This would kind of be laid out visually, very similar to like a version of the value stack. So you could stack it vertically, or you could kind of stack it out horizontally like that. We've done it a couple of different ways. With what we do is we now have just kind of this right here, just kind of showing the different services. So ours is set up as that value proposition section. Same thing like with measured home services. They listed it. They kept it right here. WellSpot's a good one. They actually show their membership plans. So you can see everything that the membership plan would include right there, but pretty basic, nothing big with that. But if you have them, I definitely would make sure that you list those on there. Now, this next section is the section that is the third most neglected section that I see on small business owners' websites that's costing them money and sales, and is called the plan section. So the plan section should do this. This section is all about showing your customers how simple it is to do business with you. We don't want them to be burning calories in their head trying to figure out how to give us money. We should not make it difficult for people that want to work with us, that we can solve their problems, to figure out how difficult it is to work with us. We want to make it very, very simple. And that's what the plan section does. The plan section breaks down your process of what the customer needs to do to get this problem solved. So it's typically something like, schedule your call or your appointment, get your plan, achieve results, or happily ever after, whatever that thing is. That third step should kind of paint the end, happily ever after, what success is going to look like after they've worked with you. I like 3 steps. I think I don't remember what the stats were exactly, but I know 3 is the magic number. 4, the conversions drop down a little bit more, and then anything over 5, it's like you're just confusing people. Your steps looks too complicated. I'm going to go find somebody else that's communicating, and that's solving my problem a lot easier. This seems like one of those, well, yeah, of course, it's very simple of how to work with us. If you don't clearly tell your customers how simple it is, they're going to find the person that's communicating and showcasing it the most clearly. So I'll show you again just a couple of examples of how we do it. So we love a good 3-step process. We even make it, we always say something like this. Here's how to get started. So like if you want to know how to work with us, here's how to get started. Step 1, you schedule your call. Step 2, we build your customized marketing plan. Step 3, we execute and dominate. And then there's a little describing, descriptor text underneath it. But it's very simple what you have to do if you want to work with us. Going right here, again, how to get started. Step 1, schedule your appraisal or home inspection. Step 2, we complete your 360 home value analysis. Step 3, confidently make an informed decision about the value of your home. Like, this seems like simple or duh things. Why would you put it on there? It's because it's so simple. You want to show your customers how easy it is to do business with you. Again, CMN accounting, how it works. Schedule a call. We create a customized wealth plan that minimizes your taxes. Step 3, confidence your wealth plan is in place. Like, it's extremely simple. WellSpot Functional Medicine, they've got it right here. Step 1, your path to well. Step 1, choose your membership. Step 2, get your plan. Step 3, live well. Like, wow, like it's so simple. You know exactly what you have to do business with them. You don't have to overthink it. You just do the first step, and then here's the happily ever after. With creating your 3-step plan, don't overthink this. Most people are like, whenever we're starting to work with new businesses and write their website copy and design this for them, most of the time like, oh, but I've got a 50-point checklist that I run people through. Okay. That's one step. You run them through the checklist. Like, you don't have to list all the simple things. What we typically do if you want to design your own 3-step process. Step 1 is your direct call to action. What's the first thing that people have to do to do business with you? Do they have to schedule a call, schedule an appointment, book their free consultation? Like, what's the first thing they have to do? The third thing is, how is their life going to be better, and what's it going to look like when that problem's solved? And then fill in the gap with a step 2 in the middle. What happens somewhere in the middle? Make it simple. Do not make this part confusing. You can do the exact opposite by adding a plan section to your website and making the plan too confusing to where then people are like, whoa, this sounds like it's going to be way too confusing to work with these guys. So add the plan. That's the third most neglected section I've ever seen on homepages. That's one of those things once you start adding that, you also see more leads and sales just from that alone there. The next section is something that we call the explanatory paragraph. Now that's doesn't have a super awesome name, right? But what this section is for somebody like myself, we're an SEO agency. This is where we get to write the copy, and we can add more of those keywords and add a lot more text to the website. Because if you look at a lot of these websites, they are very minimally designed with copy. Like a lot of other websites, whenever you go to, they're very, very copy heavy. Not much copy on these pages. Well, we can utilize, if needed, this explanatory paragraph section to add more copy. This is a lot of times where you will actually kind of tell the story of the company and what you do, how you make them. It's taking, the way I like to describe this to people is it's taking all of these different sections that we've already done and it's putting them into a paragraph form as kind of like a little mini story. Now, we have actually created here in the wireframe template, there's kind of like this little Mad Lib thing that you can look at here that this would be great. So go to the, SeanGarner.co, scroll to the bottom of the page, website wireframe template, or it's just SeanGarner.co/website wireframe. And get this template here. So this is actually this little Mad Lib section here. So if you're like, well, I don't know what I would write there, we actually make it pretty simple for you. But on this I'll show you a couple of ways that we can do it. We use this more so as like telling the story. So we'll add a little bit extra copy right here for customers whenever they're doing this. Like we kind of tell the story with their brand messaging. Depending on the client, we do it all a little bit differently. From a design standpoint, you can kind of do something like, typically there's like a hero image of the person right here and some copy. Or what you can do is more like what we have here, where the copy is actually as part of like a read more section. So they can open that up and see the rest of the copy that way. So it's not just from a visual aesthetic standpoint, right? Because we want to balance the visual with the words that convert and sell. We can add that, learn more section. So it breaks it down that way. So 2 more sections left, and then I'm gonna give you some bonus sections as well. And then I had a few questions that were sent to me that I want to answer. And then any other questions that you guys have, please drop them down in the chat below and let me know so I can make sure that I answer those. We're on everywhere right now. We're on Instagram. We're on a couple of Facebook pages and profiles. We're on YouTube and everything. So we got questions from everywhere, but I'm just going to answer just a couple just so I can be respectful with our time here because I want to start making this a habit where we knock this out. Okay, so the next section is a very important section. We call this the lead magnet section. So guess what? When people come to your website for the first time, they are not always ready to give you money. So we have to do something to add value to them so we can follow up with them when the time is right. They're not always ready to buy now. They're not always ready to schedule their assessment, schedule their appointment, book their consultation. They're not always ready to do those things. So we don't want to do all that work, whether it be SEO, paid ads, content marketing, to get them on the website only to lose them. We want to make sure that we have something on our website to capture them so we can, that sounds so bad, capture them so we can get their information so we can follow up with them. We do that with the lead magnet section. So on this section right here, all we want to do is we want to have something of value that positions us as an expert, has a clear, catchy title, and gets them a quick win. It can be a lot of different variations. It could be like a guide. It could be a mini course. It could be a checklist. It can be a quiz. We've seen quizzes work really well. It can be a number of different things, and it should do those 3 things. It should clearly identify you as the expert guide for them and showcase your expertise. it should give them a quick win. So we want to make sure that it's of value, not just of fluff. And the third one, it should have a clear and catchy title, so that way people actually want to download it. With this is, again, a very neglected thing. Most businesses, they do not have this. And so we want to make sure that we have a lead magnet on our website so that we can capture our people's information. It's typically very easily, simply, minimally designed. Sometimes there's an image or a mock-up of the thing, and then it's just a very simple thing. It's a title of the thing, maybe a quick description, and then, name, phone number, email, and then download my guide. We have several of these as examples on our website. So we've got the marketing domination checklist. It's a free checklist to give you the must-haves in your marketing to dominate your industry. Again, first, last name, email, boom, download your guide, you're going to get it. We also have all of these other ones that we've created. We've got like a free marketing report where we've actually made whole pages for them, but you can see it's still the exact same thing. Start your business assessment. You can add them as pop-ups on your website. People hate on pop-ups, but guess what? Pop-ups work. If you look at the back end on our conversions, the lead generators that convert the highest from going through them is the people that come through on the pop-up. So pop-ups work. You might think that they're annoying. Well, do you like money? Do you like sales? Do you like serving your customers? Put a pop-up on your website. So there's lots of different ways that we can do that. So Jeff Yates, for example, right here, Measured Home Services. They got the Home Appraisals Myth Guide right here. CMM Financial. They've got the financial domination. You can tell I love these boys. I'm marketing domination. They're financial domination. So they got the financial domination guide. And then one thing at WellSpot Functional Medicine that they did really well is they've got the free hormone therapy quiz, and they got a female and a male version of the quiz. But again, you can see if you were on each one of those websites, all of those kind of sound interesting, and you would put your information on. Now with those, and this is going to be a separate future training that we do, the secret is not in the guide and the information itself. The secret is what happens after they download the guide, the automations, the follow-ups, and the whole sales process that happens once that guide has been actually downloaded. We're going to talk about that on a future training. So if you haven't already, subscribe, follow us wherever you're listening to so you don't miss out on those. The very last section of the website that we're going to talk about before we get in a couple of quick bonus sections is the footer section. Man, the footer section is just the junk drawer of your website. This is where you want to put all the other extra links and pages that you need on your website or that you want on your website that we don't want to clutter up the main navigation. On our main navigation is that top bar on our menu. We want minimal things there. You don't want a huge drop-down menu of all the different options there are. We want to put those things at the footer of our website. The top part of our website, we want it to be very, very clear. So for example, like for us, we put our lead generator, our main call to action, then about and services. Measured Home Service, again, we typically will do about services. He put his blog up there because his blog actually does really well. But that we just know that. So then CMM Financial, for example, they have none. I personally am a fan of none. Like if it was my decision, we wouldn't have none. We wouldn't have anything up there except for the main call to action. Then everything else would be down here. Like the rest of their links are down here at the bottom of the page. And then same thing with WellSpot Functional Medicine. They got their success stories or their testimonials, their plans, and then their main call to action. And then all the other links are right down here at the bottom. You can see how it's kind of designed. It's based upon how many links and stuff that they have. Some websites are bigger than others, so they're going to have a different section, but ours, we've got a few more pages and stuff built out, and then there might be some other pages that are nested within those. Measured Home Services and CMM Financial, a little bit smaller of websites, and then same thing here with WellSpot Functional Medicine. So those are the 10 sections I think that should be on almost every website. So again, quick recap on this. Number one is the header section. This right here needs to showcase what you do, how you help people win, and what do they need to do to get it. Kind of lay it out just like this. The next section would be the value stack. What are 3 quick benefits that people get from working with you? Next is the stakes section. Man, what are you helping people avoid and what are they currently dealing with? We want to remind them of that. Next is the value proposition. What do you actually do? What are the services that you offer? And what do people get once they actually work from you? Then after that, we have the guide section. This is where we want to express empathy and demonstrate our authority. We want to show them we understand what it's like to deal with this problem. And then we also want to showcase our testimonials of how we've helped other people just like them fix these problems. Then we have our plans and packaging section. So we want to list and showcase the different ways that they can get involved with us from our different packages and pricing options that we have. Then we want to get to our plan section. We want to very clearly showcase how they can get this problem solved and how simple it is to work with us. Then we have the explanatory paragraph. This is where we get to add more copy, other things that we want, and words to talk about our businesses and our services in a longer, more paragraph form. Then we've got our lead magnet. So not everybody is going to be ready to buy from us. So we want to have something that positions us as an expert, gives our clients a quick win, and has a clear and catchy title. So that way we can follow up with them. And then the last is our junk drawer, AKA our footer. So we put all the other links to our website inside of there. Whenever you back out, you can kind of see this looks like a really nice designed website. You can easily see how you could just plug in your information with this and make a really awesome website. But there is more. I do want to show you just 2 other quick bonus sections that you don't have to have, but they do help, and I'll show you them. So on our website, for example, the other bonus section is this section right here, which we would call a video section. So if you have a sales video on your website, it will dramatically help and increase conversions. And a lot of people aren't comfortable on camera. They don't want to talk on camera and stuff like that. But if you can, that would be a very valuable section. And if you want a great video script to use for your sales video on your homepage, it is this right here, this ad lib section right here from your wireframe doc that we have. This right here would be a great sales script to use if you didn't know what you wanted to do on your video section. Having a video section would be huge because people get to know you and hear a little bit more from the owners or from the team's perspective before they start to work with you. The second bonus section is adding FAQs. Google loves FAQs. If you started to see a lot of times now, whenever you're going to Google search and you start searching for topics, you get that AI solution first. Well, one of the ways that you can get your website to pull up in those sections is by answering those common FAQs. So we want to have that on our homepage on our website. So Google has another place to pull that information from. What are the commonly asked questions that people have about your business and then also about your industry? You can answer those in an FAQ section right there. Then the third and final bonus section that we have would be like a blog or podcast section. So we have this on our website. So this kind of acts as multiple things. One, it showcases some social proof, because if you have a podcast or a blog, it shows that you're an authority in your space. 2, it helps with lead generation, because now people are going to be clicking through more on your website because they're going to be finding more and more of this content. And then 3, it helps again with just SEO by having that content on your website, getting more eyeballs on what it is that you actually do. So that was a lot, right? If you look at it, looking at all of this stuff, it may seem overwhelming to see how you could start implementing this. And man, how am I going to do this? I'm so busy working on my business. When am I going to make time to actually make these changes? That's where we want to help. So at Sean Garner Consulting, we specialize in this. This is one of the many services that we do with website design, but we help small business owners just like you build, fill, and optimize their sales funnel. This is part of that build process. Before you start worrying about SEO and paid ads and content marketing, you need to have a solid home that where you can send your customers to. You wouldn't start, if you were going to open up a restaurant, you wouldn't start worrying about what tables and chairs you're going to use and what billboards you're going to use to drive traffic if you don't even have a restaurant to send people to. And then even if you did and the food was amazing, but it looked like a hole in a wall, it's really going to struggle to stand out amongst all the other competition that there is. So we firmly believe if you want to stand out and you want to dominate online, your digital footprint, your digital storefront is your website, and it needs to represent the professionalism that you actually offer your clients, because they're not able to read your mind. They don't know the experiences that you have. They don't know all the people that you help until we clearly put it in a format that showcases you as the expert guide that they need to help them solve their problems. So if you want us to build this for you so you can stand out online and dominate, we would be honored and we would love the opportunity to help you. Just go to our website, SeanGarner.co. The link will be down below. Just click on the schedule a call and pick a time on the calendar that works best for you. Whenever you do this, you are going to set up a call directly with me. I want to talk specifically to you. It's not going to be anybody on my team. It's going to be me. I want to hear exactly about your business. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What's the vision that you have for this thing? What are some of the things holding you back? So then we can take that information, and if it's a good fit, we can build you an amazing website that helps you stand out online so you can dominate and ultimately do what you were called to do. So I hope this training, guys, was very valuable for you. We're going to be doing monthly trainings like this so you guys can know exactly what you need to do as a small business owner so you can stand out online and dominate your business. And please click the link down below, SeanGarner.co/contact. Click the schedule a call button and let's see how we can help you dominate your business.